Hospital in France had to be evacuated on Saturday after a World War I artillery bombshell was found lodged in a man's anus. And
this is absolute madness. Have you seen the Golden Tomb footage that is currently shattering the internet?
So you're telling me there are aquatic humans living in the Bermuda Triangle?
Not just...
You ready for this? Some videos aren't meant to see daylight, but we've got them all right here, just for you. You made it just in time for a lineup that'll have you glued to your screen and maybe double-checking under your bed after this. Haunted halls, unexplained glitches, and moments that defy logic. Think you can handle every last clip? Smash that like and tell us in the comments where you had to look away.
this might be the most outrageous story of the year so far. A hospital in France had to be evacuated on Saturday after a World War I artillery bombshell was found lodged in a man's anus. And not only was this shell a whole 8 inches long and over 1 inch thick, which the 24-year-old apparently inserted in himself, with the media suspecting it was part of a party trick, but also the bomb was still live, meaning it had the potential to blow at any moment. Brother belongs in the files for this one. To make it even more wild, this ammunition was used by the German Imperial Army in World War I, and after surgeons successfully removed it in an emergency operation, a security perimeter had to be formed around the hospital and all patients and staff were evacuated. Even the bomb squad had to be called to defuse the shell, along with the fire brigade on standby. This unidentified man now faces charges of handling, if you could call it that, Category A munitions, which in France can carry a sentence of up to 10 years in prison.
No, we are not looking at rocks, but a world-ending warning that our last coming days are here despite being promised we're safe. People were terrified after archaeologists found archaeological proof that the Book of Enoch and giants are real, and their bone-chilling warnings that we are facing a biblical end to life is indeed happening. Haunting verses warn that God flooded the earth 40 days and 40 nights just to drown the giants, with many of them climbing to the top of mountains to get away, and many have now noticed the stark resemblance of Himalayan salts to petrified human tissue, with not only the exact same compounds like potassium, magnesium, calcium, and iron found in the salts and in humans, but God is known to petrify people and animals who had sinned into salt, just like Lot's wife.
Is that why they call it Himalayan pink salt? Because it's the Himalayan mountains is a whole bunch of remnants of petrified giants who fled to the hills, which then made it a mountain when they petrified on top of it. And that's how we got pink salt.
The reports get much stranger, as giants and Nephilims were reported throughout biblical scriptures and folklore well before the cultures could communicate with each other, and they all claim to have seen them.
First, thank you to all our channel members for your incredible support, and a warm welcome to our new members. We're glad to have you. Let's continue.
Hey, if anybody's ever been to the Hoover Dam, what is this guy?
Who is that, bro?
What are these guys doing?
Why are they there?
What's their deal?
For real?
Why are there men sitting here with arms up with wings? Someone let me know.
Why? What the hell is going on at the Hoover Dam, guys? Why are those statues there? Why are those statues everywhere around the world? Why are those statues the same material? Why do those statues creep everybody out and they're in places that they shouldn't be? Some are in the middle of nowhere. Stop playing with me, son. This video's for entertainment purpose only. I'm telling you right now, I'm tired of this. Sir, people are saying that one day that those statues could possibly come alive. Or are they alive? Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game out here, guys. You know what it is. Sir, because there's no reason for those statues to be there. And it's always like angel statues with wings and things like that, right? Something's going on at the Hoover Dam, guys, that I know nothing about because I'm home. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game out here, guys. You know what it is. Sir, but I'll tell you one thing. If I'm ever at one of these places and I stare at a statue and it moves, should have never did that.
This is absolute madness. Have you seen the Golden Tomb footage that is currently shattering the internet? A series of insane clips has recently surfaced, recorded by researchers who stumbled into a forbidden zone deep in the mountains. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary archaeological find, but as they move deeper into the structure, the atmosphere turns heavy. Look closer, because this tomb isn't follow the laws of physics. The footage captures walls that appear to shift and breathe, and pathways that seem to loop into an endless labyrinth. Then, camera reveals a towering figure dressed in ancient gold. His skin isn't decayed, and his massive hair is still growing, trailing across the floor as if it were still feeding on his energy. Theorists believe he isn't a mummy or a zombie. He's a mythical entity that has been asleep for thousands of years, waiting for the final awakening to reclaim his throne. But what do you think really happens in this ancient tomb? Tell me your theory in the comments.
I don't think you understand how cooked we are. Look at this shit. This is fucking insane, dog. They are now bringing people and insects back from the dead, and they're plugging it in with AI, and it makes it alive again. Like this one is playing with human brain cells. They plugged it into a video game, and the human brain that's dead is playing the video game. And then this one with flies. This fly was rendered dead. They took the little cells in its body, plugged it into AI. They're not controlling it, by the way, and the fly is acting real. It is doing things that the fly would do in real life. I don't think you guys understand. They're coming for you and me. And there's gonna be a reality where you can plug your brain into this shit. That's fucking crazy, dog.
That's insane if they have been able to successfully transfer consciousness into a computer. I bet in the near future, they will be transferring human consciousness into a robot. Talk of the Matrix movie coming true.
Warning. If you thought the Epstein files were bad, wait till you find out about their soul tracking technology. You heard me. Soul tracking technology that they've been using and implementing since the 1900s. They have technology that sends signals to them, letting them know what soul is being reincarnated into this material realm. And they have the technology to beam a lifeline to that primordial soul, ushering it into the vessel that they want this primordial being to be born in, controlling the genetic makeup, splicing this being so that way its consciousness can't even resonate with this soul, and it takes you even longer to realize who and what you are and rearrange your genetic coding. Not only that, but then they have the technology that also is controlling your thoughts. It's just the beginning. 2026 just started. Let's go to an interesting clip where one of the government officials blew the whistle.
Thousands, 50,000 years really, and so there was an influx in the 1950s and the 1970s of higher vibrational beings. The controlling consciousness that is in charge at this moment of this planet is what is and are aware of every incarnate being that comes into this planet. Through sexual union between a male and a female, energy is then sent up and vibrates up through frequencies. They have technology to be able to see where, and then a soul is then attracted to a lifetime, and then the soul will then, this is just one way, a soul will then come to the womb of the mother, and they can track this from happening.
Quite literally. If you feel as though you are a part of a family that you don't belong to, that might just be the case. That literally might just be the case. When I say fact is stranger than fiction, I mean just that. And they're not that creative. They put it right in front of your face. In Black Mirror, they put it right in front of your face. In the 100, they put it right in front of your face. And they clone Tyrone that they can capture consciousness and put it into whatever vessel, a clone, another being, or it can get even worse and they can integrate your consciousness into those supercomputers that they call AI. Yeah, buckle up.
I found the manual, the one they buried in the 90s. Russian researchers proved it. DNA is not genetic code. It's a crystalline antenna. They programmed it with words and frequencies. Then the research disappeared. You wanna know what they found? People watching. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 3 feet. Detectable, measurable. Your neurons fire at 70 millivolts, 37 trillion cells processing 400 billion bits per second. You're not chemistry. You're a bioelectric quantum computer. And you've been running default settings your whole life. But here's the wild part. Every choice is a timeline split. Information equals limited reality access. Optimal cells equal higher consciousness. You think you're choosing coffee or tea? You're choosing which version of reality you experience. They told you DNA was destiny. Lie. They told you consciousness is in your brain. Lie. They told you reality is fixed. Biggest lie of all. Quantum tunneling in your cells right now. Electrons passing through barriers they shouldn't penetrate. You're not processing reality. You're navigating probability. And they definitely didn't teach you that in school. Give me 60 seconds and I'll tell you exactly why you feel stuck. EMF saturation, inflammatory food, sleep deprivation, all of it decoheres your quantum field, keeps you in a narrow band of probability. You keep making the same choices because your biology cannot access the other timelines. Your gut bacteria influence mood through the vagus nerve. Dehydration impairs decision making. Chronic inflammation clouds cognition. You're not depressed. You're decoherent and nobody told you how to tune it. Comment, scroll below. Your system already knows that hum, that recognition. Yeah, comment, scroll. They literally built the whole world to get you to forget the 9 to 5, the notifications, the outrage cycle, all of it designed to keep your antenna picking up interference. But you feel it breaking, don't you? The static clearing, something remembering itself. Want to know what happens when you remember? You stop being the signal and you become the broadcast. I spent years running default settings, anxiety, brain fog, wrong timeline after wrong timeline. Then I found the manual, started treating my body like the quantum vessel it is. Sleep equals coherence, nutrition equals cellular energy, intention equals frequency. The choice determines your timeline, but the biology determines the choice, and the frequency determines the biology. You are the frequency. You just forgot how to hold it. Comment, scroll below. Your architecture is showing. The code is leaking through. Feel that pull? That knowing? Comment, scroll, and see what your system has been trying to tell you.
Wake up, God family. You know we can do this. If we get the right amount of helium in our system, we can do this. This is us. We need helium. They use helium in high-speed internet service. The fiber optic cables are manufactured in helium atmosphere. High-speed internet. They even use it for mobile phones. Phones, TVs, computers, tablets. If a device contains a chip, it's not possible without helium. They mix helium with oxygen in the medical field called heliox. It treats respiratory ailments like asthma and emphysema. Helium. They use it for MIR magnets. The super powerful magnets. Imagine if we had it. Magneto. Microscopes. They use helium for microscope. Oh, we getting somewhere, huh? The ability to zoom in with your vision. This is why they keeping it from us. They use helium for computer hard drives. And it actually helps with storage capacity. We need this. They use it for cleaning rocket fuel tanks. They use it in airbags because it's the fastest diffusing gas. They use it to detect leaks on ships because it can go through metal and solid objects faster than any other gas. Nightcrawler. They use it for silly stuff. They use it for welding shields to cool down the glass so that you don't get burnt. A heat resistance. Who do you think collects the most helium? The United States, of course. 20.6 billion.
We've seen people activating their abilities by taping into their higher consciousness. I think what he is telling us has some truth in it because some people have the DNA strand that enables them to have these abilities by tapping to the frequency.
You heard that right. According to the CIA release document, they explain how humans can access superhuman ability. Now, the way they say that you can do this is by going through Hemi-sync. Oh, what's Hemi-sync, you ask? Well, it's basically getting your brain synced up together so that both parts of the brain are in harmony. Okay. So how do we do that? Oh, well, what you do is you have to have a frequency playing in each ear, but a different frequency on each ear between 3 and 7 hertz. Okay. The document states that basically once you have this Hemi-sync, you are able to basically do anything in this hologram.
Coming back and adding to, taking away. I'll do backgrounds. I'll do my own like vocal production, and then after everything is like put, like everything I want to say, all my ideas that I hear, I actually put science into it. Okay. I've been researching a lot of different things that kind of join the left hemisphere with the right hemisphere of your brain. And so I really wanted to create music that was like a product, that when people listen to it, they get smarter, they get healthier, they get more alkaline. So yeah, I put my science in there and then we wrap it up, you with me?
And I love how you said that you, so basically, okay, so when you say science,
that's what changed everything for me. And so with Odyssey, I was like, yo, we about to take this journey and I'm about to take people on this trip of like actually seeing what love does in an album. So what happened was we took a scientific approach to it and made kind of like a binary of beats type of thing, to where it merges your left hemisphere with your right hemisphere, and it's called a Hemi-sync. So once that happens, your brain is like able to be its most creative, is able to think on like heightened levels. So when people hear the music, they get inspired. They like, dang, I got an idea for this. Or, oh, I'm in such a good mood. It's like, yeah, that's that science. So I wanted to give what love gave to me back.
Come on, women in STEM.
You feel me?
We at a point right now where we can't tell if AI videos are real or fake. But the shit I'm about to show you right now looks too real to be fake. So you got people on this app that's ripping off their face, and under the skin of their face is an alien. But the way this shit looks, it's no way it can be fake. Matter of fact, look at this shit. I need you to tell me what this looks like to you. Does this look fake to you? These people like to put the truth in your face so they don't have to suffer the consequences of karma. And that shit right there looks too real. Now, this is not the only video I've seen like this. But out of every video that I've seen like this one looks exactly too real. Now I don't want to know what y'all think, because they already say that these things right here are walking amongst us. And with everything else going on, it's real convenient that they make this right now. What if it's not AI? And what if they're trying to get us ready for something? You know, once you get comfortable seeing things, they become normal. And I think they're trying to normalize this. Again, what do you think?
The Draconian race is probably the most misunderstood. I have witnessed a deep respect for this race. The Andromedans consider the Draconians the ultimate warriors. Not in a positive sense, but in a negative sense. The Draconians are the oldest reptilian race in our universe. Their forefathers, somewhere in our most ancient past, came to our universe from another separate universe and or reality. When this actually occurred, no one really knows. The Andromedans have said that the Draconians themselves aren't real clear how and when they themselves got here. But what is interesting is that they declare and teach to their masses that they were in this universe first, before human beings, and that they are heirs to this universe, and as such, all of them are royalty. They are disgusted why all the human races don't recognize this claim as true. But nonetheless, they don't debate the issue with them either. They have colonized many star systems, and they have created many races by genetically altering the life forms that they encounter. The most densely populated area of the sub-races of the Draconians is in the constellation of Orion, which is a huge star system that has millions of stars in it, which are suns, which have solar systems around them, and Rigel, and also the star system known as Capella. Here lies a very dangerous part of the universe for human beings. The mindset or consciousness of the majority of these races in this region is service to self, and as such they are always subverting and invading and manipulating less advanced races and using their technology for control and domination.
How come we were never taught in school about these draconian beings, and they have been living with us all these centuries? I bet they closely resemble the AI-generated reptilian faces we have seen in the other clip.
Andromedans tell you that the Alpha Draconians are here now. Where?
There are 1,833 of them that have been living underground between 100 and 200 miles beneath the surface. They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans that are thousands of years. They're carnivorous. They're not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they won't eat a dead human, it has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, bull. You know, why not? According to the Andromedans, they're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years from the United States. These children were food. And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's tough. That's tough. You know, Westchester County, in the last 5 years, 3,000 children in Westchester County, New York, have vanished without a trace. Where are they going? Why are we allowing this to happen? And why should people stay in denial about it?
Now, how are they able to do this? How are they able to? How are they able to? How are they able to do it? How are they able to come up out of this from underground and do it, or do they have?
There are tunneling systems everywhere. They're being helped by the Greys, and also there are groups within the higher echelon that are actually helping them acquire this.
So human beings are abducting the kids and getting them to the Greys, who in turn give them to the Alpha Draconians?
That's right. That's part of the deal. They won't come up as long as we feed them down there. You understand? It's about human beings selling themselves out. The echelon attitude here, the needs of the few outweigh the needs of humanity. And sorry, that just isn't right. You know, but it's going to have to be humanity that's going to rise up and take the stand. You're just going to have to turn off your televisions. They're going to have to get in their car. They're going to have to fire everybody in Washington, D.C. that knows and does nothing. And they're going to have to do something. You know, this apathy's got to end. Otherwise, the way we live is going to end. Period. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, and I'm not coming from a fear space. I'm really quite angry about the apathy and the fact that, you know, when people give lectures and try to tell this, people want to stand up and fight with them. Look at what's happening around us. The indications are everywhere. Everywhere. The truth is now an obscure thing. You know, the lie is the norm. There's something wrong here. What's wrong with this picture?
So you're telling me there are aquatic humans living in the Bermuda Triangle?
Not just any aquatic humans, an entirely separate branch of evolution. One that's been hiding beneath the waves for thousands of years. Deep in the ocean's trenches, where no human could ever survive, they've built entire cities, advanced civilizations, societies that mirror ours in ways we can't even begin to understand. Years ago, an agent, Jonathan Blake, was sent to investigate unusual sonar readings, strange signals, vanishing ships, missing aircraft. The kind of stuff they always blame on bad weather, pilot error, just another accident. But what he found, oh, it was something else entirely. A massive underwater metropolis hidden beneath the currents. And who lives there? Not us. Humanoid beings, sleek, translucent skin that glows in the dark, webbed hands, massive reflective eyes, built for the depths, built for a world we were never meant to see. And yet, somehow, they've been seeing us this whole time.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
We got another one. How many times are we going to catch this phenomenon of these creatures, I mean humans, on camera and still act like everything is normal? And it's always in DC, isn't that weird? You know, decades back we didn't have DVR, you couldn't really pause the TV. So these things went by without anyone noticing but a select few people who were paying extra attention. But nowadays we have phones, DVRs, etc. That's why they're popping up every single day, is because now we can just see them. Just like when they put the glasses on They Live and they can see them, you know? And I'm telling you, it's always in DC, or much of it is in DC. I've done a ton of videos in the past showing these really weird morphed faces filling the room in DC. Not to mention the spiritual veils opening right in front of us. You can't deny what your eyes are seeing, much like that lady on that plane, right? Or even what happened in Miami. And right here, the creature finally gets to shake the president's hand. This is insane. Insane.
The symbolism in this runway show you're about to watch goes very deep, and it may make you uncomfortable. This is by far the most controversial runway show in Paris Fashion Week this year, and just pay very close attention to every single thing that they're wearing, the things in their eyes, on their mouth, on their feet, on their hands. This video we're about to watch is going to break down every single thing that they're wearing. This show is called The 1%.
It's just that, the call out of the 1%. The first part is introduction to a bourgeois family. You meet the mothers, fathers, daughters of the family. A lot of them wearing white gloves with red palms titled guilt gloves, symbolizing that there's blood on their hands. Some characters even choking on the accessories symbolizing the greed. Wearing shirts saying I love power and literally being blinded with money. Instead of handcuffs, their hands are tied with pearl necklaces. Their pursuit of beauty and youth being one thing that they can never attain. The second part represents the power of community. This is also a call out of the 1%. It also is a reference how the Métier Fécal team has been referred to since their last debut in Paris. They're constantly called a cult, which can be easily said about 1% also. The last part is the power of the future, where Hannah shows up in albino python cocoon skirt with the Gila skin boot morphing into her legs, showing that the 1% have access to tools of life that most of us don't. Michelle Ami walks the show as a representation of bracing the natural beauty of aging and no need to play pretend. This fashion show is a commentary on society that we live in. This is what fashion does the most. Provoke. The collection might leave you uncomfortable, but the question is, doesn't society already make you feel?
Can't believe fashion has come to that. I don't know much about fashion, but that was straight up creepy, and I can't imagine wearing such clothes. But what do you think of the aquatic humans? I think they were referring to mermaids.
Imagine being hired to a wedding, only to realize that the guests aren't human. This is a terrifying true story of a kawaii band that performed for Gens. In 1993, Nora was a very famous kawaii singer who had a band consisting of 6 girls. They would often perform at weddings and parties all across the region. But one day, Nora had received a really strange call. The lady on the phone said, "Hello, is this the famous Nora?" Yeah. "Oh my god, I'm a very huge fan." Thank you. My daughter's having a wedding and she's a very, very huge fan. I need you to come, I'll pay you double." And keep in mind, at the time, Nora was extremely famous. She would constantly get booked for events and weddings, and apart from that, it was her rest day. So Nora tells the lady, "Thank you so much, I appreciate it, but unfortunately we're pretty booked, and apart from that, it's actually our rest day today." And the lady, being extremely eager, tells Nora, Please, I beg you, if you don't come, my daughter's gonna want to cancel the whole wedding. I'll pay you double." So Nora ends up telling her, all right, let me talk to the band and I'll let you know." So Nora ends up telling the band, "Hey, I just got a last minute phone call. It's about a wedding that's last minute and they said they would pay us double. What do you guys think?" And the band tells Nora, "Hey Nora, it's up to you. If you want to do the party, we'll follow along." So Nora ends up accepting the offer, completely unaware that it would end up being the last performance of her whole career. When they first arrived, the band was amazed. The house was enormous, it was beautifully decorated, everything looked luxurious, clearly hosting a massive wedding celebration. The bride's mother, who was initially on the phone, ends up greeting them and ends up escorting them to a creepy room that looked pretty much abandoned, where they could set up their instruments, change into their outfits, and prepare for the performance. And shortly after, the bride herself arrived with several of her friends to greet the band and to go over the set list for the evening. But as the band spent more time around them, something began to feel extremely wrong. They started noticing that the skin of the bride and her friends looked unusually rough, and whenever they stayed close to them, the performers felt strangely short of breath, almost like the air around them was heavy. But still, they dismissed the feeling and continued to prepare for the wedding. And at first, everything went smoothly. People were singing to the songs, everybody was dancing. Overall, they were having a pretty good time. But the moment the clock struck midnight, the atmosphere completely changed. The noises coming out from the guests became strange, almost animalistic. Their voices got louder than normal and increasingly aggressive. Then things started to become a whole lot worse. This is where it gets crazy. Some of the women that were dancing in the guest area began lifting their skirts as they danced, until one of them ended up revealing a little bit too much. And that's when the band saw that the guest had goat legs. One of the performers fainted immediately. They had to be escorted to a different room, and it was there that she and Nora realized the horrifying truth. They weren't performing for regular human beings. They were ultimately...
Probably you saw the video of that damn Elmo balloon, the one that moved on its own, climbed the stairs, and seemed to chase people inside the house. I saw it the same way at first, without context. It looked creepy, but I didn't think much of it, until I started digging deeper. And the more I investigated, the more it felt like the balloon wasn't the real problem. Something was wrong with that house. If you haven't seen the video yet, don't worry. I'll give you the full context now, because that's what I'm here for. Everything started with a clip that went insanely viral. In the video, you can see a giant Elmo balloon coming up the stairs. The dogs in the background are losing their minds. And the most terrifying detail is that it looks like the balloon is using its feet, like it's actually climbing. That alone was enough to scare people. At first, many said it was just airflow. In houses in the US and Canada, heating and air systems run through the basement. And that's exactly where everything started, the basement. Before the balloon video, the family had already uploaded a clip saying, "Call us crazy, but we think there's a ghost in our basement." After that, more videos appeared. The balloon kept moving around the house, but always near the basement door, even when no one was walking, even when there was no visible airflow. What made people uneasy was that the balloon didn't move randomly. It seemed drawn to the basement, and sometimes it even turned to face people, as if watching them. Then things escalated. For the first time, the balloon climbed the stairs. At night, in the dark, other clips showed the balloon slowly circling their child while he was playing. The moment the child noticed it moving, it would stop and drift away. Pets reacted too. Dogs barking, a kitten suddenly meowing, and strange knocking sounds, moving from wall to wall. One of the scariest videos shows something on the ceiling. At first, people thought it was just a lamp, but lamps don't have eyes. Later, they tried an experiment. They tapped on the floor upstairs while filming the basement ceiling below. The tapping answered back. And in another clip, while the woman crouches on the floor testing sounds, the Elmo balloon stands behind her, perfectly still, facing her, like it was watching. The last update came months later, around the end of 2025. They said the Elmo balloon was no longer in the house. And since then, nothing strange has happened. After that, silence. No more videos. So what was this? A long horror series? Or did everything stop the moment the balloon was gone? Internet cases like this always leave doubts. No one was there to verify it in person. But now you know the full story. What do you think really happened in that house? Follow so you don't lose the channel, if you're not afraid to get scared at night. See.
I'm Savannah. And it is our 2-year anniversary. Officially 2 years. We've been dating for 2 years, but we've known each other forever. You didn't just see something come in here?
If you blinked, I know you missed that spirit of a woman just crossed by behind the girl. She should pack up and leave that place. 'Cause that house might be haunted like the other house with the possessed balloon. Really gave me the chills.
On the morning of November 13th, 1974, 6 members of the DeFeo family were asleep in their home in Amityville, New York. The 7th member of the family, Ron, was sitting on his bed in the basement. At around 1 a.m., he gets up off his bed, he grabs a rifle, and he starts walking up the stairs. Altogether, it took Ron about 15 minutes to massacre his family. And when the police show up, Ron goes over to them and he actually confesses and says, "I killed my family." But when details of the crime scene, specifically the way the bodies were positioned, made people wonder, is there more to this case that we don't know about? All of the DeFeo family members had been found lying face down in their beds, and none of them showed any signs of putting up a struggle against their attacker, which led investigators initially to think that they must have been sedated. But when the toxicology reports came back, no one in the family had any substance in their system. And then you have the weirdness of Ron's confession. On the night of the attack, when Ron is sitting on his bed and he can't sleep and everybody else is asleep upstairs, he starts hearing a voice in his head that's saying, "Catch them, kill them, thinks he's just losing his mind. But then out of the shadows, straight across from him, from underneath the steps in the basement, this shadowy figure emerges and starts walking towards him. And Ron's looking up at it as this figure walks all the way up to him and bends down, and he says right into his ear, "Catch them. Kill them." And then Ron said involuntarily he reached over to the rifle that was on the bed with him, and he stood up and he began walking towards the steps, and he knew what was going to happen. He was going to go kill his family, and he didn't want to do it, but he felt like he didn't have any more control over his body, and that's when he realized he was being possessed by this demon in the basement. 1 year after the attacks, another family, the Lutz family, moved into the house in Amityville, but they left 28 days later because they were hearing voices coming from the basement. World-renowned demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren, they descend on the property, and very quickly Ed and Lorraine say, yes, this house is definitely haunted. And in fact, to this day, the Amityville house is considered one of the most haunted places in the entire world. But while Ed and Lorraine were there, they took a very famous picture. Lorraine was walking around the second floor near where the brothers' room was, and she was snapping pictures, and the only people in the house at the time these pictures were being taken were her and her husband Ed. Here is the picture that she took on the second floor. She claims this boy standing on the left side of the picture is the ghost of John DeFeo.
He pulled his girlfriend out of a burning building, and afterward she walked away and destroyed what was left of his life. Kim Yosh was once a rising basketball star in South Korea. His future looked incredible, and many believed he was on track for the NBA. But everything collapsed in a single moment during a massive house fire. Kim threw himself into the flames to rescue his girlfriend. He managed to get her out alive, but he became trapped inside and couldn't escape in time. The injuries he suffered were devastating and changed his entire life forever. But what happened after that made the situation even more heartbreaking. His girlfriend left him, and on top of that, his basketball career came to an abrupt end. The sport he lived for, and the woman he loved, disappeared from his life in an instant. His fame vanished, his recognition faded, and everything he spent years building was suddenly gone. Now Kim lives quietly in a small farming town, far from the world that once celebrated him. His story proves that real heroes don't always get rewarded, but it's not the end for him. Sometimes doing the brave thing leaves you physically and emotionally shattered, yet it reveals something far deeper. He says he's learned that true strength starts where fame stops, and real heroism is born when no one is around to praise you. Today, Kim insists he's at peace with his life and wouldn't change anything, and he holds no anger toward his ex at all.
To breed Siamese fighting fish, breeders pair a short-finned female with a long-finned male. Her eggs are gently extracted, then stirred and blown on to prevent clumping and bacteria. Sperm is added, sometimes from more than one male, to ensure fertilization. And after a final stir, the eggs go into medicated water, and since these fish will fight anything that moves, each one's raised alone to protect rare.
The highest force in nature isn't teeth or claws. It's control. Inside a praying mantis, something ancient is stirring. Hidden within its body lives a parasite, the horsehair worm. For weeks, sometimes months, it grows silently. No pain, no warning. The mantis hunts, eats, survives, unaware that its mind is being rewritten. And then, when the worm is ready to leave, it doesn't crawl out. It takes over. The parasite hijacks the mantis's brain, rewriting instinct itself. Suddenly, the insect feels an urge it should never feel, a pull toward water. In nature, mantises avoid water. It means death. But the rule is gone. Step by step, the mantis walks toward the edge, not resisting, not confused, obeying a command that is not its own. And then, it jumps. The mantis drowns. Its body sinks, and from the corpse, the worm emerges, alive, slipping into the water to continue its life cycle. The host dies. The parasite survives. This is parasitic manipulation at its most chilling. No violence, no struggle, just control. In nature, survival isn't always about strength or speed. Sometimes, it's about who gets to decide what your instincts tell you to do.
If you're not following Science X Lab, you're falling behind. But if you are, congratulations. You're evolving, learning, and growing every single day.
I guess sometimes size does not matter when it comes to being the most dangerous in nature. Can't imagine that kind of parasite being in someone's body considering what it does to the mantis.
Guys, sometimes bad things happen in life to make way for something better. And that's exactly what happened to JetBlue. You see, earlier this month, the 2-year-old golden doodle was found abandoned by its owner at Las Vegas's airport after she was told she couldn't fly with her dog. But instead of just missing the flight, the owner decided to tie Jet's leash to a ticket counter and then leave towards the departure gate. When police confronted her saying that she needs to go back and collect her dog, she refused.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk you back to where your dog's at, and then we're gonna issue a citation.
She was arrested and booked on charges of animal abandonment and resisting arrest, and JetBlue was unfortunately placed in Animal Protective Services. The woman was even offered a chance to retrieve her dog, but she didn't want him, so he had to be placed in foster care. That is, until one of the officers who actually helped save JetBlue at the airport decided that he would be the one to give Jet his forever home. The police department posted on Facebook saying, "Bon voyage, JetBlue, and welcome to a new life where you'll be loved beyond words by Officer Black and his family."
Never return where your value is not seen. The cost of staying where there is no respect destroys you quietly. Never return where they are just looking for your hand, but not your heart. Never return where your presence doesn't matter. Any love or attention you beg for will always feel hollow. Never return where they made you feel small. Your soul demands dignity, not mere survival. Walking away isn't losing. It's protecting the last pieces of yourself that still believe in better. I expect honesty from everyone. Some people come close only to use you, take what they need, and then leave. They talk sweet, they act loyal. But when trials come, their masks fall. And yes, it hurts, but remember this truth. Honesty is expensive. Don't expect it from cheap people.
I know why you're now aligning with your manifestations. Because you were in a season of isolation that you're now exiting. You've exited with a new mentality. You are not chasing your abundance, and you are now allowing for your abundance to attract to your frequencies. The Most High placed you in a season of isolation to upgrade you energetically. And the fact that you're seeing this video means that you are in divine alignment. And you need to save and share this video, because the manifestations you're about to align with are all because internally, those periods of isolation were you elevating to be able to attract this shit. You are a real motherfucking seer, bro. You have the ability to see energies within yourself, within others, within situations, within environments that allow you to have an insight that most motherfuckers couldn't fathom. So you going into isolation is something they don't understand because they don't see energy like you. They don't perceive their flaws. They don't see how lack is existing within their energetic field and is stopping them from manifesting shit. But you do. And this is why you know who the fuck you are, and you don't allow anyone who doesn't exist on divine time to try to paint narratives on you. Cause motherfuckers will try to paint you out to be the bad guy cause you separating yourself. Whole time, they don't see what you see. They're not able to tap into themselves how you are. So your isolation to them looks like you thinking you're better than them. Whole time, you see shit they couldn't even perceive. And you are now exiting a season of isolation that's gonna get your spiritual life right. Your mental plane right, your finances right, your love life right, your physical being right. Understand, I don't make these videos for no motherfucking views. I make these bitches cause they need to be viewed. And the fact that you seeing this means you on divine alignment. Cause I don't move with nobody but the Most High. And I know the fact that you seeing this video means you do too.
Stop. This might change how you see yourself. You are not burnt out. You are experiencing program fatigue. Burnout happens when you keep trying to live as a version of you that isn't actually you. Eventually, your whole system begins to strain. Then the body resists and is eventually pushed into a state of dis-ease. The mind feels heavy, indecisive, and depressed. Because your truest essence is being compressed under the weight of obligation, expectation, and a false sense of conditional worthiness. None of this has happened because you're weak. It has happened because you are performing. Most humans think exhaustion comes from doing too much. In a way, it does. It comes from doing too much of what no longer aligns with you, and probably never really has. It comes from being someone you're not for too long. What is in alignment with you feeds your soul and spirit. It does not drain it. Watch what happens when you drop the performance. When you stop living for other people's expectations or by obligation. When you stop speaking from the identity that feels forced. When you make one decision from the version of you that feels completely natural. I'll tell you what happens. Energy returns. Clarity returns. Momentum returns. So, choose one small thing that feels completely natural to you, that you have been holding off on because you were worried about what others may think or how the world may see you, and just do it. Then watch the kind of miraculous timeline that unfolds for you based on that single action. It doesn't take long to see the shift. Sometimes it's even instant. It could be something as small as changing your hair or your style or the way you present yourself, to quitting your job and living off grid. It could be anything. From a yellowbird perspective, your life doesn't shift when you try harder. It shifts when you become more honest with yourself. You don't need more motivation. You need alignment with who you already are beneath the noise. So if you've been feeling tired, stuck, or off path, it may not be burnout. It may be a signal that you're ready to stop pretending and start living as the one you actually came here to be. Transmission complete. Follow the yellow bird.
Quite some wise teachings we've got from those clips, and I hope you have learned a thing or two. If you've reached this far, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss out, and leave a like below.
I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but fuck it, I don't care. Affirmations are the biggest waste of time ever. Affirmations are a marketing plot that started in the 60s and 70s, and it's lazy people's way of tricking themselves into thinking that their life is getting better. So instead of just shouting shit in the mirror, here's 3 ways that you can actually start improving your life, approved by metaphysics, quantum theory, and even science. The first one is thought forms. Thought forms are not just words that you repeat to yourself in the mirror. They are complete sentences filled with emotions and feelings and associated with continuous life power. I'll give you an example. Every time you drink water, repeat to yourself, every time I drink, my body purifies itself. Every time I breathe, I absorb brilliant ideas from the universe. These ones are really powerful and they will work. The second way that you can do that is with confirmations, not affirmations, confirmations. It's the way that you confirm with the universe that your thought forms are working and your manifestations are coming into reality. So the next time you get a brilliant idea, just say, yeah, it's true. Every time I breathe, I absorb brilliant ideas from the universe. Every time you look in the mirror and you see yourself getting healthier, just say, yes. Every time I drink, my body purifies itself. It's true, I can see it. The third way to improve your life is self-hypnosis. If you know about hypnosis, you know that it's the most powerful way to break limiting beliefs, clear your subconscious mind, instill new beliefs, and literally just shift your identity in a session or 2. But here's the thing, hypnosis is expensive and we all know that. But what about self-hypnosis that you can do on your own for free? It does take some time to learn, but it's the most powerful way that you can use to clear your subconscious, remove limiting beliefs and instill new beliefs, and literally make yourself free from the shackles that society and energy entities have placed on your soul. I'll see you in the next one.
If you were born 1946 to 1964, you are a baby boomer. 1965 to 1980, you are Gen X, the forgotten ones. 1981 to 1990, you are millennial, probably tired. 1991 to 1996, you are 90s kid. Now, 1997 to 2000, you are a zillennial. Too young for millennials, too old for Gen Z. 2001 to 2006, you are early Gen Z. 2007 to 2012, you are late Gen Z, the TikTok generation. 2013 to 2015, welcome to Gen Alpha. 2016 to 2019, you are officially an iPad kid. 2020 to 2021, you are a quarantine baby. 2022 to 2023, you are the Skibidi generation. 2024, you are literally a newborn. And if you were born in 2025, welcome to Gem Beta.
Wow, just wow. That was intense. Hype. I think this has to be one of the best episodes we've done so far. Thanks for sticking around and watching till the end. If you're as hyped as we are, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for the next one. It's only going to get crazier from here.